That's hard to look at. Blurry. Oh, yeah. Hey, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. We're talking about how to lose weight around unsupportive people, because a lot of people are going to have to deal with this. The people around you, you have to understand, it's not that they don't want you to lose weight. It's that a lot of times when you change your behavior, first of all, it kind of breaks rapport, right? Because a lot of times you're bonding with the people in your life over unhealthy foods, right? You're going on junk food, snacks. It's exciting. It's a thing you do. And so all of a sudden you start making healthier decisions, it kind of breaks that rapport a little bit. All right. So understand that. The other thing is that when you start making healthier choices, it's kind of like holding a mirror up to the people in your life, right? Now, again, I know you're not intending to do this, but it's just a natural effect. You've been on the other side of this. You know, when you have a friend or a family member who starts making healthier choices and they're talking about it, and then they're, you notice that it makes you kind of reflect on where you're at. And if you're not happy with where you're at, or if you're not in a place where you're ready to start, making those changes, you usually get upset about it, right? You're not upset for them to be successful. You're upset of how it makes you feel. So I think understanding these two things sets you up to deal with this challenge. And it is a challenge. Okay. So again, we want to acknowledge that we all have along our weight loss journey, we all have our strengths and our weaknesses and our challenges and opportunities. And so we recognize that sometimes there's going to be people around us that we're very close to that aren't necessarily supportive along this journey. And the first step is acknowledging it, recognizing it. And the next step is, how do we find a solution to it, right? How do we deal with that? And so the first part, what I was saying of really reframing it, not thinking that they want to sabotage you intentionally. They don't. Subconsciously maybe, but again, it's for those two reasons that it's breaking rapport with what you guys typically do, and it's making them feel bad about themselves. That being the case, they may still sabotage you without even wanting to. They may. And so you need to have a strategy in order to deal with people like that. And what I would suggest you do, the foundational strategy you're going to rely on, is really boosting up your motivation, getting crystal clear about why you want to lose the weight and improve your health. And you've got to do this. You've got to nurture your motivation so that regardless of what the person is, the environment is, you can still consistently make the right choices. And so what happens right now, this may sound obvious, I don't know, but what tends to happen is when we're in a situation like that is we may feel a little wobbly. We're not crystal clear on our motivation. We feel a little wobbly that day. And all of a sudden the person comes around and says, hey, you want to go out for, fast food? And you say, yeah. Right. And now you blame them. But the real core problem was that you were not truly motivated. And so we got to stop blaming other people. Again, this is the acknowledgement piece. We acknowledge, we want everyone just to be supportive and help us out as much as possible. That's not going to be the case. Okay. And so we got to go to plan B here, which is that we acknowledge that some people are not going to be supportive, in some explicitly and some kind of subtly. Regardless, we need to recognize that and come up with a strategy to deal with it. And the first step is really taking ownership, right? Empowering yourself to realize that regardless of what the people around you do or say, you can still make your own decisions. You're free to make the decisions you want to make to get the results that you want to get. And it takes consistently focusing and nurturing that motivation that you have. All right. So that you, when you get in these situations and you may feel tempted, you have the resources and the wherewithal within you to say no and make the choices you want to make. So recognizing how important it is to be really focused on your motivation and keep it nurtured. The other piece is to start coming up with things you can say to people when they offer you, foods, because these things happen in certain situations. So you may notice it's in the afternoon, dinner, after dinner are the big three typically. Sometimes it might be breakfast too. So again, it could be any time, but the most common times you want to start recognizing the most common situations where this person may kind of throw you off track a little bit if you're not prepared for it. Okay. So we're reinforcing our motivation and we're starting to prepare for specific situations when this person tends to kind of tempt us or try and sabotage us so that we're ready for it. And this again is also important so that you're not blindsided, right? A lot of times we kind of we're so mad that they keep kind of sabotaging us that we don't start to really understand what's going on and create better strategies to deal with that. All right. So that's what you want to do. So I hope this helps you out. Give it some more thought. Don't just accept that, oh, this person's sabotaging me, I can't lose weight. No way. You can lose weight in any situation you choose to. Okay. You just have to make the choice and you have to nurture that motivation and you have to prepare yourself in different situations for how you're going to succeed. Okay. So take these things into account and I hope this helps you out. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. Answer. Oh man. Heather sent the TGIF. Here. TGIF, right? Oh, and the Friday before Thanksgiving, it's kind of like a double bonus. How do you stop craving super sweet food? Yeah, well, listen, the obvious answer I think is that you stop eating it. You know what I mean? But that's a little obvious, I think. But that's part of it though too. I always joke if someone got on here and said, "Hey, how do I stop craving cocaine?" Well, the first step is the less of it you do, the less you're going to crave it, right? So we want to start cutting down how much super sweet food you're eating, first of all. And I think that's a very worthwhile focus because the more super sweet food you're eating, typically super sweet things are not very healthy for you to begin with. But the other big problem is that super sweet foods kind of ruin your taste buds for healthy natural foods, right? Because anything that's healthy and natural is going to seem really bland and boring compared to super sweet flavors. Okay. So yeah, you want to start cutting down the super sweet flavors, super sweet foods, start compressing them to when you're going to eat them. So don't eat them every day. Start ideally, start picking days when you're going to eat them, days when you're not going to eat them. And if that's a little too much for you right now, don't eat them in the mornings and in the afternoon and just eat them at night. Once you get a handle on that, then stop eating them at night. So you have a couple days where you're not eating them. And so start to build up, the not eating them and what you're going to do instead. And the less you eat of them, the easier I think it is that you stop craving them. Because again, the cravings, every time I always say this to myself with sugar, if I'm gonna eat sugar, I always say to myself, this is sugar cravings on layaway. I'm going to, start craving sugar because I'm eating this right now. And so that's how I think of it. And so that helps me avoid it. What's up, Bastard? How's it going? I got a new camera set up here and it is kind of driving me nuts. Because it's way up. Oh, that looks a lot better. All right, there we go. Still figuring it out. Yeah. So give it a test though. But again, yeah, I know it's like someone will say like, oh, some magical thing that can just change it, but you can't because it's partly physical, right? It's partly a physical craving, for it. And again, the more you eat it, there's going to be a 24, 48-hour window where you're really craving it, and then there's a psychological craving for it, right? You're used to eating it at certain times in certain environments and situations. And so there's a little bit of physical and a psychological, I don't say addiction necessarily, but, connection there that we want to deal with both of those. All right. Dolores Newsom, how's it going? I'm fine working on my talking. I can't wait to hear Esther. I'm so glad you're working on it because it's very interesting to me. And I'm really curious to see where all that goes, but it's very interesting. So yeah, keep working on that because we'll see where that leads to. Oops, that's too much. There we go. But yeah, if y'all have any questions, I know I was joking. Not too many people. People aren't thinking about their weight loss on a Friday, right? Who wants to do that? What's up, Jody? I got your email. I'm super excited to see you in the program for a year. I can't wait. I love when people sign up for the year program. It's one of my favorite things because working together for a year is, I think it's one of the biggest things you can do, because talk about committing to a long-term time frame and it takes all this pressure off. It's one of my favorite things. So super excited to see you're going to continue with that. But yeah, here we are on a Friday before Thanksgiving, right? You might notice it might be a little harder to eat well this weekend, as the holiday comes closer, and that's natural, normal too. What's up, Vicky? How's it going? Always a good day to get motivated about weight loss. Yeah, right. Of course, right. I love getting motivated on a Friday. And it's funny too, because like for me, I love Fridays because Friday is like the beginning of my pleasure days, so it's like I'm still just as motivated to be at my goal weight on a Friday as I am on a Monday. but I'm going to eat totally different. So that's the part I always want to put on to you guys is that, when you start thinking long term, it's such a different thing, because when you think short term, you think all or nothing, right? You just want to get the results as fast as possible. But when you start thinking longer term, it really does take a lot of the pressure off of mistakes that you make. So speaking to you, Jody, there's another person that is part of the year-long program, and she got on the call yesterday and she's like, "Oh, I totally blew it. Totally blew it. I was going to do this and I totally blew it." And I was getting all negative, and it's so nice. I was like, "Listen, just relax. Got a year. Just calm down, So it's nice when a person makes a year-long commitment, it is transformative mindset wise, because it's very hard for you to think about your weight loss in terms of a year. That it's you don't even like the idea of making a year-long commitment to your weight is just like that's just like a concept that doesn't exist in your head, And it was funny, like, to remind people that because even she right away, she's like, "Oh yeah, right," and just calm down instantly. So, anyways, but with the longer, the longer we think about things, the easier it is. How do you get through a weekend going it without cheating on your diet? Well, that's a good question, Carbucks. So program yourself into a different philosophy. So there's not really cheating on the diet, right? So there's no diet. Because the goal is different, right? So I'm programming myself in. The goal is not to lose weight; it's to get to your goal weight and live the rest of your life at your goal weight on near autopilot. So we kind of start with the maintenance plan, right? We're not starting with a diet, right? If you just think about like just losing weight, you're almost always going to do extreme things. You're going to start on a Monday and try and be perfect until you reach your goal weight. So you may have a cheat day here and there, but it's like everything's just like focused on getting to that goal weight, as if the goal weight were the finish line. But the reality is the goal weight's the starting line, because how long do you want to be at your goal weight for? Right? You want to be there forever? Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be forever anyways. So what is your rush? And so that's kind of the background for in programming yourself. Then the thing I suggest for people is to structure their eating a 5-2 model, 5 days of clean eating, 2 days of pleasure eating. And so the weekend, for a lot of people, the weekend's the pleasure days and the week's the clean days. And so the pleasure days, I don't know, like cheating on your diet. If you have to cheat on your diet, you probably don't like the diet. Do you know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. I got my clean days. Do I love eating clean? Well, I kind of do. Like, I do love it because I love how it makes me feel. Do I love the taste of eating clean? No, not compared to eating for pleasure and eating hyper palatable foods. No, those are more enjoyable taste wise, but I feel good with that balance for me. Now, again, I started with 1 clean day, 6 pleasure days. So again, this is just a concept, and you tweak it to what works for you. But the idea is that we want to have 2 categories. One where you're intentionally focused on eating for fueling your body. Good Lord. We have been conditioned in society to really just think about food as flavor. Every single food decision you're making is just how it's going to tantalize your taste buds. Christ, it's ridiculous. It's 100% of the time for a lot of people, So it's like sometimes a couple times a week, at least to start off, you might want to make a few food choices based on what's going to nourish your body. So that becomes the clean eating focus, right? Ideally we'd love to be 100%, but I'm rarely 100%, but I'm a chunk. I'm very clean on those days. And then the pleasure days are just as important, because really the core question we ask and program yourself to motivate us is, how can you get the most pleasure out of food? And I'll eat it all. That ain't the most pleasure out of food, is not stuffing yourself till you're just full and feel like shit. The most pleasure I think you get out of food is when you eat it moderately at your goal weight. Then you enjoy the flavor, you got your body, everything's just flowing and balanced, And so in order to get there, you've got to learn how to eat for pleasure. You need to learn how to eat foods that you really enjoy without getting totally, out of kilter and just overeating it or blowing yourself off track or falling off your diet. Okay. And so practicing clean days, pleasure days, back to clean days, which is the most important piece, because you learn to get back on track every week, and again, the number one skill of mastering weight is the ability to get back on track quickly. So anyway, so how you get through a weekend going it without cheating your diet? Well, I don't call it cheating on my diet, but I will be eating for pleasure during the weekend. Fridays are my favorites, as I know I'll eat for pleasure tonight. Yeah, Dawn follows this idea and it works really well, because you take a lot of that pressure off. Dolores says, just ate a lot of turkey is healthy for you. Just ate a lot of turkey. It's healthy for you. Yeah, sure. Super excited about it. Yeah, Jody, you're going to love it. Again, it's even just a year commitment is just transformative. And obviously working together for a year is phenomenal because I really get to know you and we get to the deeper stuff. That's what I love most about it. It goes way past the weight. It's really, and again, it's a program itself then really is a personal development program, right? We take your weight loss, wrap it in personal development because it's way more motivating to have the focus be, I want to become the best version of myself, right? If you take your weight loss goal, how you're trying to motivate yourself just to lose weight, to look better. And instead we upgrade that to, I want to be the best version of myself possible. I want to be the healthiest, the happiest, the best in shape I can be. That's way more motivating. And so, you'll see over the year, we'll get into a lot of personal development stuff. So he says, I find it much easier to eat clean on the weekend because I don't have to negate my stress. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. And that's fair too. Again, like programming yourself thin is really about, there's three, the weight mastery pyramid: mindset, lifestyle, eating. And I give you these blueprints to fill out where you customize your own plans for those. But yeah, that's the key word there, is customizing it. And so Sophie's here and she's a little different than the norm, where some people find it harder to eat clean on the weekend. Okay. So we always honor ourselves. And I think a lot of diets, you don't do that, right? You're just trying to force yourself to follow some diet that someone tells you to do. But it never really resonates for you. It's never really, you never take ownership of it. You never internalize it. And so I think part of your weight mastery plan needs to be honoring who you are, what works for you, what's your likes and dislikes, what's your lifestyle. And we build around that, because once you have a customized plan built around your own, preferences, lifestyle, genetics, who you are as a person, it's got a way better chance of succeeding with it and continuing with it. So great job, Sophie. I'm glad you realized that. Dolores says, think of your diet as your marriage. Sure. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Eat small amounts, but high calorie. Yep. I've started implementing soup. Yeah. Soup's a good one for sure. I'm not married. What do you mean? I think she just means that you think long term about it. They're going to be with it for a long time. I think a lot of people with diets think of it as like one night flings, right? Like it's like, oh, I'm just going to do this thing. It's going to give me crazy results, and like you do it for a little bit and you can't stick with it, and then you on to the next one, or you go back to it again. You know what I mean? But it never progresses past the one night stand phase. So you need to think more about a long-term commitment. Another reference point metaphor is thinking about like college. Like college, if you went to college with such a casual attitude that you'd go into your weight loss, like you would have quit college after the first week, right? If you're like, oh, I'll go to college as long as it's easy and I'm always learning stuff and I'm getting good grades. And like the second you get a bad grade or you're confused, you quit. Like, you know what I mean? What kind of way is that to approach anything that's difficult? But when it comes to your weight loss, that's kind of what you do, right? You pick the hardest plan you could do. And the second you make a mistake, you quit. There's just such a lack of commitment. And so college, you commit to it knowing, okay, this is going to be hard. I'm gonna make a 4-year commitment. It's gonna be 4 years, 2, 4, 6, 8 years of work to get to where I want to be. But I'm willing to make that commitment. I'm going to dedicate myself to it. Right. That's a real commitment. And so the weight loss is like, oh, I'll try it out as long as I'm losing weight every week. You're very conditional with that one. And with other big things in your life, marriage, college, kids, your work, you're much more unconditional. Even if you're not tired or whatever, you still show up and do the work. And so, yeah, I think thinking of it as a marriage can be good. I can't think of food as clean or not because I stop eating just about anything. Figure out, so whatever words work for you, and again, I honor anyone, whatever words you use, however you want to. This is what I mean. Like, this is part of what I'm talking about. Like, you figure out how you want to think about foods, what categorizations work for you, Ocone, I don't know how to pronounce that. Hello, do you have some kind of a course for this type of eating? Yeah, you can go to my bio and click the link, get the hypnosis session I give you. And then as soon as you sign up for that, I give you a training, 3 steps to master your weight. Watch that training. That training is, it's free. Okay. Watch that. I do have a program as well. But I'd suggest watching the training first to see if this resonates with you. Okay. But that training alone will teach you more about weight than you probably learned in the last 30 years. Honestly, and it's free. Don says, without desperation and restriction, I am down 10 pounds with this approach since 9/1. That's awesome, Don. And that's amazing because you've already losing weight. So that's quite an accomplishment. Where can I see the program? And also, if you just want to see the program, if you just want to check it out, you can go to programyourselfthin.com and you can go check out the program. But get the hypnosis session and watch the training because it'll explain it more. This is a unique approach, and so I think you need a little more context. This isn't like a meal plan or a workout, you know? It's a much more comprehensive approach to really mastering your weight, and so it's much more mindset-based. And so my mindset-based approaches to most things, but certainly mindset-based approach to weight loss is really less about me giving you techniques within your current mindset, and it's more about me helping you to change your mindset with how you think about weight loss. You see, you're trapped in a dieter's mindset. You think like a dieter. And so if I just give you a technique, it's not going to work because the core problem is you think like a dieter. We need to change that. And so in order to do that, unfortunately, it takes a little bit more thought because I can't just say, oh, do this, do this, do this. We need to kind of take a step back and say, that's completely the wrong goal. We need to think about it this way and now do this. You know what I mean? So first you have to reframe things and then comes the tools. Good point. I worked sugar hard for my master's. So hard for my master's. Yeah, yeah. That's so healing. Thank you about the clean, not clean. Got to think about it differently. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just, and I know what you mean, by the way, Sophie. Just so you know, I used to be a raw foodist, so it doesn't get too much more extreme than that. That's one of the more extreme things, and it's exactly to that point. Now, I finally realized, holy shit, this is too much. Like I'm so obsessed with food and I'm getting so crazy with it. This isn't even healthy anymore. And so I use that as a learning opportunity to kind of, how do I want to think about this in a way that's not only physically healthy, but also mentally and emotionally healthy for me. And what I had to do is I kind of loosen up a little bit how I was thinking about food. So I get what you're saying with that. But don't just say like, oh, if I think about clean, unclean, then I don't eat anything. That's not enough. Okay. Well, how do I want to think about it? What's most important to me? How can I get to where I want to be, and start asking solution-oriented questions with that. Yes, the dieter's mindset is embedded from the early years, especially for girls. Oh yeah, absolutely. And so to that point, let me talk about that a little bit, because we have all now at this point, no, I mean, I'm almost 50. So if you're 70 years old, pretty much your entire life, you have been conditioned to think about weight loss as a dieter, right? You have been exposed to millions of diet ads. Every diet ad is the before after picture, how long it took to get there. It causes you to think about weight loss as a short-term thing. And once you think about it as a short-term thing, I'm going to diet until I lose the weight. Next thought is, okay, well, what's the fastest way I can do that? And once you ask that question, the answer is the most extreme plan I can find, and so your weight loss now is like tied. You can't think about weight loss without thinking about a diet. They're just tied together. So I get out here all the time, my podcast, my videos, everything I'm trying to do is to separate in your mind that weight does not have to have anything to do with dieting. I sit in front of you as a person who's dropped 30 pounds and kept it off for not 30 pounds. I've dropped over 50 pounds and I've kept it off for over 30 years. And there's been no dieting and really no consistent working out. I have not been working out. I'm starting to kind of embed it for different reasons. But what I did is I mastered my eating, and I mastered my eating because I mastered my lifestyle and my mindset. And that's the approach I take, and that's the approach I teach. And so a dieter, though, dieting is not going to do it. It's a broken mindset from the word go. And here's the reason why, right? All the diets that you're subconsciously referencing about how to lose weight are all owned by the big food companies. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products is owned by the same company that owns Auntie Anne's Pretzels and Cinnabon. Slim Fast is owned by the same company that owns Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream. These companies do not want you to lose weight. They want you to get you coming and going, and they want to condition your mind so you never break free of this weight issue and you stay a slave to the food and the diets for the rest of your life to some degree. Sorry to be so drastic, but sometimes you got to be blatantly clear to break through the bullshit, because most people are walking around with a dieter mindset, which creates the big problem that you have two mindsets right now. You got an overweight mindset and you have a diet mindset. That is it. Your normal, natural way of going through the world, like when you're not thinking about weight and food, when you're not focused on it and changing everything, you are an overweight person, right? How you live your life, how you think, how you eat keeps you overweight. That's just your natural way of being. Not because you were born that way, but because it was programmed into your subconscious mind. The way you eat, what you eat, when you eat, how you eat. All of these things are subconscious and automatic, just like how you brush your teeth, how you use a computer mouse, how you read and write. These were difficult things that you learned how to do, and now you just do them on autopilot. Your eating behaviors are the exact same thing. Your lifestyle behaviors are the exact same thing. You just do what you did. You're just following a subconscious program. And so you got this overweight mindset now. And what you do is occasionally you get really upset about your weight and you go into diet mode. And now what's diet mode? Diet mode is just when you fight against your overweight mindset and you fight against it for a couple days, a couple weeks, sometimes a couple months, and you get your weight down. And then all of a sudden you say, I can't keep dieting. I don't want to go back to being overweight. I hope I don't put the weight back on. And you put the weight back on, right? Because how could you not in that situation? Because you're missing the most important part of the weight mastery process is you are never learning how to create a thin and healthy mindset. When are you creating a thin and healthy mindset? I know what you think. You think magically when I get to my goal weight, I don't know, it'll be there. I'll just do it. No, you won't. Have you? You've lost weight in the past. When you got to that weight, did you just stay there? Did you naturally just create a thin and healthy mindset? No. Do you ever see anyone do that? No. Do you ever intentionally work to create a thin and healthy mindset for yourself? No. You got your overweight mindset, how you normally act, what you like to eat, how you normally eat. And then you got your diet mindset when you fight against all that. And that's what you do. You keep flip-flopping between these. And this is why nothing ever changes long-term, because nothing ever changes on a subconscious level. You never program new behaviors into your subconscious mind. You're always just fighting against your automatic behaviors, your current programming. So programming yourself in is about programming in new thoughts, lifestyle behaviors, and eating patterns into your subconscious mind so they run automatically. So I tell you, I sit here, again, I'm obsessed with food. I have routines, I have structures, I have subconscious programming that keeps me at my goal weight. So I trust myself now. My automatic natural behaviors, my natural thoughts, behaviors, feelings keep me at my goal weight. I'm not dieting. I'm not overweight. My overweight mindset has become a thin and healthy mindset and now keeps me at a lower weight. I hope that makes sense, right? Because it's a completely different way of thinking about it. Because what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like when you really think about it, you don't have the words to explain what the fuck's going on. You're like, I don't get it. I've been trying to lose weight for 40 years and it just never works. I don't know what to do. And you're flummoxed because you're a smart, intelligent person. You're successful professionally. You're successful personally. You're a great parent, mom, partner. You're great at your career. When it comes to your weight, I don't get it. I don't understand. And you're just obsessed with that question. I can hear your thoughts from here. What's wrong with me? Why can't I stick to a plan? How come I can't lose this weight? Why can't I do this? You're obsessively asking why you can't get the results you want, which is a big reason why you're not getting the results anyways, by the way. But again, but you keep thinking this is the craziest part of being a human, is that we just keep doing what we did. You keep trying the diets. This month is keto. Next month it's intermittent fasting. The next month it's Mediterranean. The next month it's carnivore. The next month, it's just always changing. The diets are always changing, but you stay the same. You got to stop focusing on information and start focusing on transformation. You need to change yourself from the inside out into the person you want to be, and you have no idea how to do that. You only know how to force yourself to lose weight for a little while. Thanks, Dory. And you have no idea how to live at that weight. Again, program yourself. Then we start with the maintenance plan. It's all about creating a maintenance plan, a way, again, a mindset, lifestyle, and eating blueprint so that you can live at your goal weight for the rest of your life on your autopilot. Doesn't that goal feel better to say right off the bat, right? Because you're so apathetic now. You think about weight loss 24 hours a day and you can't even get yourself to start a plan. You know what I mean? And it's because you don't want to diet. You don't believe the diets are going to work anymore. So you're stuck in this trap where you think about weight loss all day long, but you don't want to do the things you think you have to do to lose weight. You don't want to give up sugar. You don't want to completely stop eating carbs, not eat for 16 hours. You don't want to do those things, and you're not doing them. And so what the first step you need to do is realize, I don't want to just lose weight. I'm done with that. I want to master my weight. I'm not in a rush. I'm going to give myself a year. God forbid, right? There's a great quote, right? That people overestimate how much weight they can lose in a month and underestimate how much weight they can lose in a year. So again, it's all about the mindset. Once you change your mindset, everything changes instantly and you get way better results. Yep. Don says, I was dieting until I turned 52 in September. Yeah. Never again. Autopilot for me. Yeah. Don's internalizing it. Dory says, I lost weight, then gained some weight. How do I not fall back into bad habits? Yeah, same thing I was just saying. Again, I'm telling you, subconsciously, you think about the diet as a temporary thing. I'm going to diet until I lose the weight. So you think about it as a temporary thing. And what I find a lot of times too, you tell me if you ever notice this, give me some hearts if you ever recognize this. But the weirdest thing in the world, right, is all you do is think about losing weight. Let's say the random time you actually get your weight close to your goal weight. The closer you get to your goal weight, ironically, I think if you pay attention, you're going to realize you're freaking out. Your anxiety is getting big the closer you get to your goal. Why? Because you know that you don't know how to live at your goal weight. You know how to diet and lose weight. You can get real strict and focused because you're excited about the scale going down. But at some point, the scale stops going down. And what are you motivated by now? Most people trade the pleasure of the food for the pleasure of the scale going down. And at some point, the scale stops going down. Where's your pleasure come from now? Oh, from being thin. Nope, that ain't going to work. If that worked, no one would ever put the weight back on. And everyone puts the weight back on, right? It's like 80, 85% to 95% of people that lose weight on a diet put it back on. So how do you not fall into bad habits? You change your habits. You overlay, because you can't get rid of all, here's an interesting thing for you to know. You can't get rid of bad habits. Like you can't get rid of bad habits are just neural wiring. They're neural networks that are connected, and you can't get rid of it. You can't remove old wiring. All you can do is wire new wiring over it. Okay. So it's more accurate to say, not that you're getting rid of bad habits, but that you're wiring over new good habits over top of them. That's a better way to think about it. And again, you're doing it. I don't want to get into this right now, but again, in the program, we go through the neuroscience of habits. I'm laughing because, if you want to lose weight, right? And I know if you're listening to me, I know you consider yourself a smart person. I know that because everyone that listens to me, they're always overthinkers, usually perfectionists. So I know you're thinking all the time about your weight loss, right? And you probably have been for decades, but you're missing like all the obvious shit. Like, do you know the neuroscience of habits? Don't feel bad if you don't. I'm just pointing out the fact that as obsessed as you are with weight loss, you would think that understanding the neuroscience of habits, like understanding habits in more granular detail so that you could strategically implement better habits in place of the bad ones, like that's like, no shit. Well, obviously, right? If you want to change your weight, right? That's like one of the most obvious basic things you would have to do. And the truth is, when you look at yourself, you've got no strategy to change your habits. Your strategy isn't a strategy. It's a tactic to use willpower to just be in control of all your habits and force yourself to do the right thing, which reveals a complete lack of understanding of how your mind works. You're not built to consciously be in control of every little thing you do. We live our lives on autopilot. Right? Most of our lives, we just do what we did yesterday. Okay, today's Friday. Well, I'll do my Friday routine most of the time, right? Unless it's an odd Friday. But we basically do what we did. And so this idea that you're going to one day magically wake up on a Monday and consciously control every little thing you do it makes no sense. Again, as I said, it just reveals a complete and total lack of understanding how your mind works. And so you wonder why you're not losing the weight. And I will tell you, it's because you literally have no strategy. Your strategy in a nutshell is use willpower to follow a strict diet so you lose weight quickly and or work out. And it doesn't last long-term, so you need a more strategic long-term viewpoint on what you're looking to do here. And then everything's a lot easier. Stop bothering yourself that you're bothered. Not sure that was in reference to your vids have changed my life. That's awesome. That's a cool one. I like screenshotting the cool. I got this freaking white. I'm trying to I can't see it because my thing's white. Oh, that's a good way to do it, actually. That's not working. We'll just have to see. I'll zoom in on it. I love testimonials. I come here to unscramble my mind. Yeah, sure. That's what I do this for. Unscramble all your brains. Your brains are scrambled eggs. I hate to tell you, when it comes to weight loss, you got scrambled eggs for brains. Don't take that personally. It sounds kind of offensive when I put it that way, but don't take it personally. I'm joking. But like literally, when it comes to weight loss, you think like a dieter. And a dieter, like I look with X-ray vision, I just see scrambled eggs on the brain. Like it makes no sense. The whole dieting thing, it makes no sense. I always look at like diets. Like if I was a real evil person and I wanted to create some way to make it seem like I wanted to help you lose weight, but really I just wanted you to keep eating the bullshit food and just be trapped being overeater all the time, I would create a diet. From top to bottom, it's a horrible, horrible idea, for long-term weight loss. It's a great idea for short-term weight loss. So if your goal is short-term weight loss, do a diet. Don't do program yourself thin. If you want long-term, weight mastery, program yourself thin is a better approach. But if you got like a wedding coming up next month, you need to lose weight quick, do not get program yourself thin. It's not for you. So yeah, but dieting is a goofy shit. I talk about this every day. I'm not going to go into it right now, but yeah, like I like to unscramble minds. You know what I mean? For sure. It's so hard to change mindset though. Is it? Is it so hard to change mindset? You know what I mean? I know people say that, like I'm busting your chops a little bit, but and I'm joking. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard in a sense, but it's what you're saying. What you're saying really for you, probably not that it's hard. It's impossible. It's impossible for you because you literally have no idea what your mindset is. Really, you have no strategy to actually change your mindset. And again, I'm not blaming you for this. The diets never teach you how to change your mindsets, do they? What diets out there teaching, showing you how to change your mindset? Write it in there. Please let me know. What diet's showing you how to change your mindset? Because you know what I see every diet doing? Every diet is I see every diet saying, here's your meal plan. Here's how you got to eat. Here's how you got to work out. Even the dietitians, the nutritionists, the doctors, the personal trainers, every single diet you've seen, every philosophy. Here you go. Here's the plan. Now see you later. Go follow it. And it's up to you to force yourself to follow it. And you have no idea how to change your behaviors. So is mindset change hard? It's not hard, but it takes consistency. You know what I mean? But you have no plan for it. You know what I mean? So even like, what is your mindset? Like I always like that because mindset's a buzzword right now and lifestyle is a buzzword right now where I feel like people got there's no granular explanation for what those mean. Let's start with mindset. I find a lot of people when they're saying mindset, they're really using it as a synonym for willpower. Right? So you got to have the right mindset. Come on, man, you got to get hyped up. You got to have the right mindset when you do this, which is really just somebody to say, come on, you got to get motivated. You just got to want it. Oh, well, great. How? What if I don't feel motivated? What do I do if I don't feel motivated? What then? You got to get motivated. Come on, man. Let's do it. Just no pain, no gain. This is David Goggins guy, right? Which I love these guys, but it's like, I ain't like that. I'm not a guy that's going to push myself to run 1,000 miles and do 10,000 push-ups. And no, thank you. No, thank you. I applaud you, sir, but not for me. You know, can I have an easy, simple path, please? I don't want to do that shit. And so what is a mindset? How do you change a mindset? Well, you don't even know what a mindset is. So let me take you and program yourself then. Again, we come up with a mindset blueprint, lifestyle blueprint, eating blueprint that you fill out. There's 6 categories of mindset. The first one's motivation. Do you know how to motivate yourself? Like at will. Do you know how to motivate yourself? Do you? Are you motivated right now to lose weight? Are you? You know, and you blame yourself for not being motivated, but why are you blaming yourself? You've never learned how to, you don't know how to motivate yourself. You've never learned how to motivate yourself. You should be motivated, right? But you don't know how to actually get yourself motivated. And there's a process to do it. Okay. So there's motivation. There's your self-image. Do you know that you have an identity? Your weight is a physical projection of your mental self. You think of yourself. If you're overweight, you think of yourself as an overweight person. You think of yourself as an overeater, of being lazy, having no willpower. You know, so we've got to change your identity. We got to change your self-image into a thin, healthy version of you. Have you ever thought that? Right. The next one, habits. I just mentioned this, right? Do you know the neuroscience of habits? It's not, I mean, I'm talking about like deep, just basic neuroscientific concepts of habits is really, really helpful so that you can be strategic with your habits, right? Then there's emotions. Do you know how to deal with emotions? How to feel the emotions you want, not feel the emotions you don't want without food? Probably not, because we've been conditioned since birth to use food as our main emotional management strategy. And the next one's thinking, literally thinking like a thin person, the nuts and bolts of thinking like a thin person. What questions do you ask? What words do you say? What kind of mindset do you have? And then finally is maintenance. How are you going to maintain this? Right? You have to start thinking from day one, how am I going to maintain this? You need strategies to maintain it. Do you take for granted, oh, I'll think about maintenance once I get there. Are you shitting me? You're so confident you're going to lose weight. You're not going to think about maintenance until you get to your goal weight. Like it's so easy. You just, I'll think about maintenance once I get there. How about you think about maintenance now? Because what do you just think you're going to maintain from day 1 to day 2? It's just a given. You're going to be still doing this week 1 to week 2, month 1 to month 2. Yeah, I'll start thinking about when I get to my goal weight. Don't you think it might be helpful to start thinking about maintenance now? Don't you think you could use a little more skill at being able to maintain to week 2, week 3, month 2, month 3? So that's my definition of mindset. Break it down. You'd find someone else who breaks mindset down like that. I've not seen it. I even seen the queen of mindset, Carol Dweck, the growth fixed mindset lady. I love it, but it's 2 mindsets and she just tells you what they are. And it's like figuring them out is, you know, she got her strategies, but I don't know how practical that is. I mean, and I love that stuff, but it's like, we need to break this down into practical, granular compartments. They're going to help you move forward. And wouldn't you agree that you would have a much easier time with your weight if you knew how to motivate yourself, if you knew how to change your self-image, if you knew how to influence your habits strategically, effectively, if you knew how to influence your emotions, if you knew how to think like a thin and healthy person, and if you knew how to maintain this? So yeah, how hard is it to change a mindset? Well, it's a lot easier once you know how. I'm not saying it's easy. I mean, you still got to do the work, but wouldn't it be, it's like saying, oh my God, it's like you have to go someplace before you had a map. I mean, before you had your phone and whatever, Google Maps or whatever, before you could even print map directions out, before there were maps, getting to a place is almost impossible. But once you have the map, it's not that hard. I mean, you still got to do the work to get there, but at least you have a plan. And what I'm trying to point out is that right now you don't have a plan, which really gets to the core of what I'm here for. Is I don't want you to blame yourself. You're in your head blaming yourself, and you're pissed off at yourself, and you're mad at yourself, and you're punishing yourself because you're pissed off that you weigh what you weigh. And the reality is it's not that you're a bad person. It's that you do not have a strategy. You do not have strategies. You don't have strategies to live at the weight you want to live at. It's not a you problem. It's a strategy problem. You haven't learned how to live at your goal weight. Not even once have you learned that. Focusing on your weight for 30 years and not even once have you gotten close to the idea of how do I live as a thin, healthy person? You've never asked that question. Don't you find that odd, considering all the time and emotional energy and focus you've given to your weight? I hope so. So, Shireen, this time I found you it's scary. I said, no, what do I do if I don't diet? Yeah, Jody, I get it, right? Jody, yeah, again, she's in the program and she knows that. She's approaching her goal weight. It's always the same. I did a coaching call. You can see it on YouTube. You can go watch it. Jody, you might like those, actually. They're kind of interesting to watch someone. You'll see it's the same type of thing where both of them, no, one of them was they'd lost 20 pounds. They were doing keto and intermittent fasting, and they were closing in on their goal weight. Well, no, I don't know how close they were to the goal weight, but they'd lost 20 pounds. And so you think, oh man, if I lost 20 pounds, I'd be over the moon. They're not over the moon because every day they're freaking out more and more because it's getting harder and harder to stick to this really strict regimen. And so even though they lost 20 pounds, they're feeling even more upset because they're like, I'm not gonna be able to keep this up. And they're feeling a lot of anxiety because of that. So, yeah, anyways, but that's a big part of the process. But Jody, yeah, you'll be fine. You know that. This will be the last time, I promise you. What to do then it comes back 1 little pound at a time, the worst. Oh, I know. Yeah, the weight starts coming back, right? And it's less like you just freak out, But that's what I mean. Like, you need to be able to, there's so much. I just wish I always joke, like, I would like to, if I could do a brain transplant, you know what I mean? You put my brain in any person's body, we're going to start losing weight. And I wish I could do brain transplants. Maybe someday with AI or something. I don't know. But yeah, you can change how you're thinking, Dieting is so miserable. Yeah, exactly. Right, Dory? It's like you hate dieting. It's like people act like it's like, why do you think you're not losing weight? Hormones, menopause. Do you think it might be because you're eating too much? Yeah, maybe, but I don't know how to change. I don't want to go on a diet. Yeah, exactly. You want to lose weight. You think about it all day long, but you don't want to diet. You don't want to diet. That's why you're not losing weight more than anything else. Because you're all or nothing, right? Because you're doing nothing, and your idea of a dieting is this giant overcorrection, and you don't want to do it. That's why you're not doing it. But your only option in your mind to lose weight is going from doing nothing to doing everything perfect. And it's overwhelming to you to think about it. And then if, God forbid, you start doing it, you're like, holy shit, this is just as bad as I thought it was, if not worse. And then in the back of your mind, you don't believe it's going to work anyways. And so this is where you're at right now. So what's a better alternative? Well, it's to be all or something. Sometimes you're focused and motivated and just everything's working great. Great, do all. Be perfect with your stuff. But most of the time, you're not going to be perfect. I said it. And so what do we do in that situation? We go from being nothing to being something. We make a simple, easy improvement. And we get used to doing that. And then we make another improvement. We get used to doing that, and we make another improvement. This is real improvement, folks. That's how real things happen. I know your impatience says I need it to happen all at once, but fuck your impatience. What your impatience got you? How much weight you lost last 6 months, last year with your impatience, last 5 years, right? Don't give a shit about your impatience. I know you're impatient. I know it's hard to, I feel impatient. I get it. And it's like the diet industry's preyed on that. And so you just think like an impatient person now, but you can become a patient person. Do you know that? All it takes is changing the way you think about it. Dory says, I lost 100 pounds and I honestly got my life back. Yeah, that's great, Dory. Super. That's awesome. You do. Again, and it's like you can get more value out of the weight loss depending on how you're thinking about it too, on top of it. The weight loss in and of itself, it's important to understand this, that weight and money are very similar because they're just means to an end. The weight and the money by themselves don't make you happy, right? If you're got a bunch of money in the bank, but you got it all because you robbed old people, that's a shitty, you know what I mean? You don't feel good about yourself. You know what I mean? And if you got your weight down low, but you're absolutely starving yourself and you're miserable, what are we doing? What is the point? You know? So it's important that we realize that it's not enough just to lose the weight. It's also the process we use to create that weight loss. And no one ever focuses on this. I don't give a shit what I got to do. I just want to lose the weight. Yes, you do give a shit how you do it. That's why you're not doing it now, because you absolutely give a shit how you're going to lose the weight. No, you're not going to do something miserable to lose the weight. That's why you're not doing it. But but again, I know because you think you have to do. You think you've got to be miserable. You think it's got to be this shitty process where you feel like crap and you feel deprived and you're frustrated and you're stressed and you're hungry. That's what you think weight loss is, because that's what the diets have trained you to think. That's not true. People in Program Yourself Thin are losing weight all the time, and I'm more relaxed and calm than I've ever felt. I feel at peace. The eating's just kind of flowing and I'm losing weight. I had a person yesterday in the program. She goes, I went on a cruise and lost weight. Now, we talked about this before, and I said, just enjoy yourself on the cruise. Just, you know what I mean? Don't freak out about eating right. You put a little weight on the cruise. Who cares? You lose it when you come back. You go right back to normal thing. So she went in it with a calm, relaxed attitude. She wasn't strict, crazy with it, because we're not strict, crazy with the food. The more strict and crazy you are with the food, the worse results you're going to get anyways long-term. So anyways, she lost weight on a cruise, folks. Do you know what I mean? That's how fun weight loss can be. You can go on a cruise, enjoy the food, which she did, and she still lost weight. So yeah, you can lose weight in a comfortable, enjoyable way. Day one, you could feel more relaxed on your weight loss journey with Program Yourself Thin, because tomorrow you start the day. Guess what? You know how my plan starts with some strict meal plan? No. You know how my program starts? You start it, and tomorrow morning you look at your phone when you wake up, which you do anyways. There's a message from me. You click the message. Hey, it's a 5-minute hypnosis session from Jim. Let me sit down and listen to it for 5 minutes. I'm just going to quietly sit here. Oh, I'm relaxed. I'm calm. Holy shit, I haven't felt this relaxed in a long time. Whew, I was really stressed and depleted and tired. This is just what the doctor ordered. Oh, I feel a lot better. That's it. 5 minutes. You wake up, you go about your day, and what do? Oh, I ate better. Why? Were you dieting? No, I just felt more relaxed and calm. When I feel more relaxed and calm, holy shit. Jim, you're not going to believe this. When I feel more relaxed and calm, I eat better. Yeah, no shit. Everyone does, right? So it's like, how do you feel when you start a diet? Do you feel relaxed and calm? Or do you feel stressed out, anxious, freaking out? Do you think it's easier to eat well when you're freaking out and anxious and tense? Or do you think it's easier to eat well when you're relaxed, calm, centered, clearly aware of what your goals are and connected to them? You know, I mean, it's obvious when I put it that way, but I don't know. You know, people do what they do. Cindy says, better habits, going to the hot tub on Friday nights instead of eating in front of the TV. Now, Cindy, you're talking my language, right? I went to the hot tub last week and it was awesome. And you're right on the money. That's exactly right. The things I always think of addictions like this, addictions are like when you think the things that are causing you pain are actually causing you pleasure, right? So when you're eating the food that you think is really pleasurable, but when you zoom out, you realize, holy shit, those foods are causing me a ton of pain. 5 minutes of pleasure, 5 days of pain. You know what I mean? Like it's not even close. And the TV's like that too. Listen, I like TV too, but I had to narrow it down. You're watching 5, 6, 7, 8 hours of TV a day, you're going to have a hard time. Your emotions are probably not going to be in a great place because the TV is not helping you resolve your emotions. It's just distracting you from the emotions you're feeling, you know? So yeah, Cindy, you're right on the money. That's a smart saying right there. What's up, Karen? I don't know what you did, but my thinking is totally different. I'm so grateful. Yeah. So Karen's in the program. I'm going to interview her so you'll be able to hear her whole story because, that's what's happening, folks. It's your mindset is the biggest thing impacting your weight. Your mindset's more important than your genetics, your hormones, your menopause, your insulin resistance, your environment, any of it. Mindset's the number one thing affecting your weight, and you have never learned how to influence your mindset. What a crazy world. As much as think about all the time, energy, money you have spent on weight loss, and you have never once. I know this about you. How do I know this? Because there's no mindset program out there, is there? You tell me if there's a mindset program you know about that's working for you. Let me know about it. So think about all the time, energy, money you have spent on thinking about weight loss, and never once have you learned how to influence your mindset at all. How is that possible? That's like learning an instrument, not learning about chords or scales. It's like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's the most obvious. It's like learning to play basketball, not learn how to dribble. I don't know. It's it doesn't get any more fundamental than that. Now I say this to you because again, please, it's not you. It's not you. You're not the problem. There's not something wrong with you. You're not broken in any way. You're not missing something. You know what I mean? Well, you are missing something. You're missing a strategy. You're missing a different way of thinking about your weight loss and approaching it. So yeah. Karen says, first time I wasn't worried about losing a certain amount of weight by holidays. Oh, right. Isn't that a nice one? I've had a lot of people in the program say that. It's because you know what do you do, right? You go through the year. Oh, I'm gonna lose the weight by the holidays. Oh shit. Okay, here comes January 1st. I'm gonna lose weight by Valentine's Day. Oh, okay. I'm gonna lose it by spring. Oh shit. Okay, summertime. By summertime, I'm gonna lose the weight. Oh shit. Okay, by the end of the summer, I'm gonna lose this weight. Right? I mean, it just goes on and on, year after year after year. But this becomes your programming. This is your programming. You know that internal dialogue, how you're talking to yourself. That's the programming. That's how you're hypnotizing yourself to be overweight, and you don't even realize it. You know, great job, Karen. Jill says, I'm only 10 to 15 pounds overweight, but I'm so flabby. How can I prevent that? Yeah, I mean, okay, 10, 15 pounds, it's a twofer in that situation where, you clean up your eating a little bit more, drop, again, if you want to, 5 pounds, see what that does to you. And then maybe start adding some resistance training, start to develop some more muscle, and that can help that out as well. My hardest thing is to eat during the day. I binge even if I have eaten. It is damage control. I binge even if I've eaten. Yeah, I get that, but again, you want to be strategic, So eating during the day is very important, because if you don't eat during the day, what's happening is you're getting into the evening really hungry and really depleted, with no willpower, and then that's a really bad time to try and control your eating. So it's a lot easier to eat when you're not starving, So again, you want to start thinking about managing your hunger. And if you start focusing on managing your hunger, I think it's a much easier to control your eating. Okay. All right. You know what? I got to get out of here. I got a lot of work to do today, so I'm going to get out of here. But if you have not yet, go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session I give you. Okay. It's a barn burner. It is a good one. It's called The New Thin Me. It's a kickstart session, and it helps you clarify and connect to your goal weight, your dream body. And it's motivating, feels good. So go get that, and then watch the training I give you. I'll give you training right after it called the 3 Steps to Master Your Weight. And watch it, because it'll change the way you think about weight loss and weight mastery. And I think in a positive way. All right. It's going to be a lot more helpful for you. Is there a place to post questions not on lives that you can answer in lives later? Yeah, I mean, you can email me at jim@programyourselfthin.com. You can direct message me. I feel bad. I was trying to get to him. I am not good. I'm not a good texter. I'm not a good message person. I kind of read the message and then I'm on to the next thing I forget about a lot of times. But shoot me a message and I will do my best to remember to answer that. Or you can just answer it now. I got a few minutes if you want to ask it, because I'm going to talk about Annie. Annie was awesome. First of all, the Annie herself was unbelievable, which is funny because this was like a 7th to 8th grade, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, mostly production. They let it be the younger kids. There was some high school kids in it too, which is why it was so fun, because it was my son and my daughter were both in it, and they're 6 and 12 grade. So this will probably be the only show they're ever in together. So that was really neat. And it was my son's first show, and it was so awesome watching him out there for the first time, because he's actually extremely talented with a lot of this stuff. So it was really fun watching him do that. I'm glad he kind of broke that bubble, and he got into play, so hopefully it'll be easier for him to keep doing, because he's very, very good. But it was so fun watching the two of them. But it was a good show, actually. Parson says, any tips on trying to be hungry in the morning for breakfast? I'm never hungry and I like to be, so I don't binge later in the day. Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to this question, this also reminds me of like sleep, right? Because a lot of people say, I want to go to bed earlier, but I'm not tired at night when I want to go to bed. And so a lot of times the easiest way, if you want to be hungrier in the morning, is stop eating earlier in the evening the night before. And if you want to go to bed earlier, wake up earlier that day and you'll tend to be tireder earlier. So again, we want to zoom out and see the bigger picture here. Okay. And so, yeah, I don't know when you stop eating at night, but I would work to move that forward. I mean, I would experiment with that. I would stop eating. Well, I don't know. Do you have time to answer what time you stop eating at night usually? Yeah, Annie the Musical. It was really good. So let's just say, for example, though, that you eat until like 9 o'clock. Okay, yeah. So what time do you usually go to bed? But it doesn't matter. Like, so say 9 o'clock is when you typically stop eating. Yeah, I would stop. I would just test it out. I'd stop eating at 7 o'clock one night, just as an experiment, And they're like, oh, I can't eat anymore after 7. It's not that conversation in your head. It's saying, I'm going to stop eating at 7 o'clock tonight and see if that impacts how hungry I am tomorrow morning. And then if it wasn't that hard, I would do it 2-3 nights in a row and see what happens. Because sometimes it takes a little bit of time to see the real results of it. But there's a good chance you'll wake up and you'll be hungrier than you typically are, But yeah, that'll be a lot better. Because again, we want to think strategically. Again, with dieting, we just want to change everything all at once. But when we start approaching things more strategically, we set ourselves up for longer term success. All right. All right, everyone, I'm gonna get out of here. Again, if you have not done this yet, go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, watch the training. I send you emails every day. I'll help you lose weight for free. And watch that training. It's really important. And then you can listen to the podcast, program yourself then, make one every day, weekday. So go check those out. It's on all the main platforms. And yeah, other than that, have a wonderful weekend. All right, get some rest and relaxation and set yourself up for success next Thursday there. Yeah, Astrid, you have a great weekend. I'll talk to you on Tuesday. All right, everyone, have a good day. Bye.